What's up, guys? Back again, man, with another live stream, bro. It's been a long time coming, man. Oh my goodness. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already, man, make sure to hit that follow. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to like the channel, man. Support your boy over here. But yeah, man, we actually got a special guest here, man. His name is Dylan. Dylan, do you mind introducing yourself, man?
Sure. What's up, guys? My name is Dylan. I'm a programmer by trade, and I've spent a lot of time traveling. I first started traveling a few years ago uh, as a result of me getting my first, I guess you could, yeah, my first remote job. I was working for a WordPress company doing websites for them. So um, I read the book 4 Hour Work Week in my teens, and I really wanted to emulate what he talks about in that book, which is just going to live somewhere super cheap after you get a job that is kind of passive. For me, it wasn't really passive, but it the main principle was taking your U.S. dollars and leveraging them in places where they're worth a lot more. So I just said, all right, screw it, I'm going to Thailand. So I went to Thailand, went to Mexico for a while, went to Spain, Japan, not as cheap as Mexico or Thailand. Um, yeah, those are most of the places that I've traveled to.
Oh, dope, man. You
Yeah,
definitely have some experience, man.
thank you.
um, so knowing with like the current market out here, there's a lot of passport bros going on, man, and the thing is, man, I'm seeing a lot of people being smarter with their time with females, relationships, travel. So, what's your thoughts on passport bros?
All right, I'm gonna have a controversial take, I guess, for your audience, but I'm not super into the idea that like the correct answer to the situation in the West is to just bail out and find a woman from another country. Because to me, I mean, like logically, what happens next is you bring her back here, and then she becomes Americanized, and then the problem doesn't get fixed. And then also, it seems like kind of taking the easy way out. And I guess if your goal is to do things very efficient, it's like a consequentialist versus like the ontologist. It's like, do the ends justify the means? Are you contributing to the fact that like it's really hard to find a decent wife in the U.S. by like importing one from somewhere else, as opposed to trying to, I guess, find one here and like raise kids that will be good parents and spouses and stuff like that. So I don't necessarily agree that it's like a good thing to bounce out of the country and find a wife from somewhere else. It also feels this might be like an ego thing, but it feels like losing when you drop out of the current hierarchy to hop into a different hierarchy where you have inherently higher status because of whatever like differences you have. Meaning like, oh, I have an American passport, and then that's why you're attractive to this person. That's to me that feels like losing. So like in terms of like the hit to my ego, I don't think I could do that. So yeah, that's my take on passport bros.
Yeah, man. Because if I did actually travel to a different country, man, I would actually make sure I'm still leveling up as if I did in the U.S. as well. So I just keep grinding. But I have a, let's say, man, how do I put this? Let's just say if I was an immigrant and I
Mhm.
came to the United States, I have that mindset of my back is against the wall, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to actually make that money, become a better version of myself. No questions asked. Um, so yeah, what made you actually come to Phuket, Thailand?
Um, I'm the representative of the blue pill now. I went to Thailand because of two things. One, I I wanted to go somewhere that I've never been before, and I was living in Israel at the time. And in Israel, everyone goes on vacation either to Thailand or to South America. And I didn't want to go to South America, so I decided to go to Thailand. That was the first major contributor was that I'd read that book when I was younger, and they talk about Thailand in particular. The second contributor was that I had a girlfriend at the time, and she wanted to go. So I was like, all right, fuck it, like let's go.
Oh, dope. So what would you say is like the best time to actually travel to Phuket, Thailand?
The best time. I'm not really sure. They've got, as far as I remember, they have a rainy season and a dry season. And so the best time in terms of what, like how much it's going to cost you or like how pretty it's going to be?
Just like the time of the year,
Time of the year. Right, but like
like
for what?
summer.
Like, cause if you're gonna ask me like, what is the best time to go to Thailand? If you're trying to find like a girl who's ovulating, you know, it's like I don't know, like the middle of the month on
Yeah.
when Saturn is in retrograde or whatever the fuck. But generally, I would say go in like the end of the dry season, the beginning of the rainy season, so you'll get a little bit of rain. Prices for everything will be lower because there's gonna be less tourists, less competition for entertainment and stuff, and it won't be too hot. Yeah.
Mm. So, what would you say is like the best tourist spot in Phuket, Thailand that you actually been to?
The best tourist spot. During the day, go to the beach. I love jet skiing, so I take a jet ski out and just go into the middle of the ocean for like a mile, so you can't even see the shore anymore, and then go across the coastline, and you can see these giant mansions, but they're dug into the side of this mountain with like trees surrounding them, and it looks it's like visually stunning. And so that's what I would do during the day, just stay on the beach, and then for night, there's this place called Bangla Road, which is have you ever been to Austin, Texas?
I have not.
All right, Austin, Texas has Rainy Street or Dirty Sixth Street. The equivalent in Phuket is called Bangla Road, and they it's a bunch of bars on both sides of a closed down road that you can only walk through. You can't drive, and they're all competing for your attention, and it's pretty crazy. It's a lot of fun. They got bars, they got clubs, they got live music. That's the place to go at night for sure.
Oh, that's dope, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so guys, right now I'm actually looking at a map of Phuket, Thailand, and the red area you see here is all Phuket, if I'm not mistaken. So you'll see like the certain places, the areas. Let me actually zoom out. Like this whole area here, this red area. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's all Phuket. And then you see more Thailand if you zoom out. Yeah, so right there by Malaysia and Cambodia, Vietnam on the other side. But yeah, just wanted to point that out, guys, because if you're ever looking at the map, you want to need any help, it's right there. All right, so Dylan, what do you? How much money you think you do you need to actually live in Thailand, Phuket?
To live there for a month, probably like 2 grand. I can check real quick, get you like an exact number. There's a website I think I mentioned on the last episode that we did. That's called Nomad List, and it's built for nomadic people. And it gives an index of different cities, different countries, what the air quality is like, what the temperature is like, how much it costs per month to live there as a expat. So I'll just type in Phuket here, and it says, let's see here, cost of living, 3 grand a month. Actually, cost of living for an expat, it says 2,000 a month. So yeah, 2 grand a month, you can have a pretty decent living.
This is actually the website, correct?
Let me take a look here. Yeah, that's
Nice,
the
nice.
one. Yeah, it's a really good resource. They also list remote jobs and stuff like that. So if you're doing like a service job or a tech job, there's like customer service, like phone stuff. Just find one of these remote ones on here and get the fuck out. Go enjoy yourself on the beach.
Oh man, I don't even see Phuket on here. I mean Thailand.
Yeah, you can search for it, but yeah, Bangkok is there. Chiang Mai is there. That's the
There it
third
is.
one and the fifth one.
Here it is.
Yeah. Chiang Mai's 1,200 a month. Holy shit, dude. Chiang Mai's only 1,200 a month. What's crazy though is that it costs like 1,500 bucks to get there. But
Man, look
once
at
you're
those
there,
stats. Oh my goodness, look at those stats, bro.
yeah. It says the fun is less there though compared to the other cities.
Guys, we're not playing, man. When you say this is a good country, man.
It is. I didn't get to go to Chiang Mai. It was like the last city on my trip, and I ended up not going. I kind of got sick of traveling so much because I was just going too hard. I was taking a boat pretty much every single day to a different city.
Oh wow, guys, let me actually type the list in the chat, the website.
Nomad list, baby. It's a good site. When I was in between jobs, I looked at a bunch of jobs over there. It's the place to go. And it's been around for a while.
Oh wow, I actually do not even know how to add the link to the list. Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's see here. There we go. What's up, DJ? Welcome. Um, so what about the apartments over there? How do they look? They more modern,
In
pretty run
Phuket.
down.
Nah, not super run down. It also depends how much you're willing to spend, but not super run down. It's pretty modern. Um, Despite the price tag, pretty modern. But you will find like bugs everywhere. I don't mean like infestations, but um, having come from Israel, it wasn't a problem for me to see like a cockroach once in a while.
Yeah.
Because kind of no matter what you do there, for some reason there's still like one cockroach living in your house under just somewhere. I don't understand. Like we'll have an exterminator come, clean the place out, and then 2 days later I'm chilling in the living room and a big one like that big walks across the floor and just looks at me. So I was used to that when I went to Thailand. Like you have a couple bugs in the room, you have like, oh, what is that? Oh, there's a little lizard in the room. Like it's like, okay, well, fuck it. That's just kind of the cost of doing business here. It's not a huge deal. Um, but visually, like aesthetically, yeah, pretty modern. Not a huge deal.
Oh, wow, that's always nice to have. So, what would you say is the preferred public transportation over there, Phuket?
Um, I don't know about public transportation. Everyone there takes the tuk tuk or the tuk tuk or how you want to say it. It's like motorcycle cab. Everyone uses that, and they just I don't know, just pay like 100 baht, which is $1, I think, maybe less. To just sort of have a guy drive you to wherever you got to go. You negotiate prices with the drivers, and yeah, that's kind of how you do it there. I don't remember really seeing buses or anything. I'm sure they do. They probably have something. But if I remember correctly, it wasn't a huge city either, so it may or may not have had like genuine public transportation, like buses and trains and stuff.
Oh, wow, that is interesting. I remember I did see the motorbikes though a lot, and
Yeah,
actually,
everyone motorcycles there. We got up early one day and we had a guy take us to the beach, and it was like during the morning rush where everyone's taking their kids to school, and you see a mom with two kids on like a Vespa, and then in the section where you're supposed to rest your feet, she's got her two kids in there and she's driving them to school that way.
oh man, that's really interesting, man. Oh wow.
It's cool to see like the cultural differences because they do that there and nobody really cares. That's the way that you go to school. It's normal. But if you did that here, people would like put you in jail for neglecting your children. So it's like stark contrast.
Mm. So, what's the everyday food choices over there like, or what do you go
Hmm.
for?
Different kinds of curries. You got papaya salad, which I fucking love. Dude, papaya salad is so fucking good. It's so good. Oh my god. It's
Papaya
like
salad.
spicy. Yo, dude, it's not like sweet ripe papaya. They don't have a lot of vegetables over there, but they have papayas that are not ripe yet, and they taste kind of like almost like a cucumber, but a little bit more hard. Like they got more bite to it, like crunchy. So they shred it up into long, thin slices, and they put like some peanuts and some cherry tomatoes, and a lot of acid, so like lemon or whatever the fuck, and they put like fish sauce, and then they make it super spicy, like you in the bathroom immediately afterward. But it's so good. Yeah, that Thai papaya salad is one of my favorite things ever, and it's an acquired taste too because they add this fish sauce that doesn't really exist here. It smells like a street sewer because it's fermented fish. But once you like acquire the taste, it's one of the best things ever. And if you go to a Thai restaurant and they don't have the fish sauce on point, then you'll be disappointed. I remember I used to go to this one in Dallas, and it was the only one that I went to that like it smelled correctly. And I told the guy, "Hey, you're doing the thing right," and he was like, "Yes, I know. No one else does it." Yeah.
So, Dylan, what images do you think it's closest to what you have?
Well, all of these are accurate representations. I would
Oh,
say one, two, three. The sixth image in, the one that's like more orange and red. That's like the typical Thai papaya salad.
oh, that's interesting, bro.
But this one's got more vegetables than you'd usually see. You wouldn't see a green bean there. You'd very rarely see like bell peppers. It's pretty much just the papaya and maybe some tomatoes.
Oh, wow.
Dude, I don't know how to describe the taste. It's fucking delicious. It's
I
really
gotta try
good.
it.
Just like you have to be open minded though, because the first time you try it, you're gonna hate it. But eventually, you eventually acquire a taste for it, and then you're like, "This is the best thing ever." It's like sushi, where when you're a kid, you first try sushi, you're like, "Oh, that's fucking gross," and then eventually you're like, "This is the best food on the planet." Yeah.
Man, so what's the average food cost over there, or just in general?
Oh, dude, it's so cheap. It's so cheap.
Phuket.
In Phuket, let's see. So a salad like that's like an appetizer salad, right? So imagine like a meal size salad, that salad, and then also some like chicken skewers and maybe some pad thai, so some noodles with some more chicken and eggs and like a stir fry noodles. All of that for like $8.
Dude, that's crazy, dude. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm sure it's changed now. But when I was there, you could have a meal for two people. We had a meal at a Michelin star restaurant. This was in Bangkok, but we had a meal at a Michelin star restaurant for two people. We were full by the end, and it only cost $50. Compare that to a Michelin star restaurant. I went to a Michelin star restaurant here in DC a few weeks ago, and it was really. First of all, it was not even good, and second, it cost like $400 for two people. So the comparison is like it's unreal.
Wow, dude. So what would you say is the health and fitness over
Health and fitness, man. I don't even know how to answer that. It's not really a priority over there. Like there's like I don't think I remember seeing one fat person there. Everyone who goes over there is already fit because they're there to fucking party. All the tourists, at least, and all the people that live there, they have one of these old school cultures where it's like the kid's starting to gain weight, and the parent goes, "Hey, you fuck, you're getting fat. Stop eating." So it's not really like a thing over there to be a fat person, you know. So like health and fitness is just eat normal amounts of food and like do your work day, and that's kind of what it is. And then separate from that, you've got the whole like warrior culture with the Thai boxing, the Muay Thai. So those guys are just crazy jacked and train all day long, and so there is some of that, yeah. But mostly it's like make enough money so that we can eat and like get an education and stuff like that, and then the rest is just kind of like. You ever think about how before working out was a thing, like before we had workout equipment in like I don't know 1800s, 1700s, people just kind of existed and they didn't work out.
there? Yeah.
I imagine that's what Thailand is kind of like, where I don't think there's a huge gym culture except for like the professional fighters and people that want to be professional fighters.
Because I know in Japan, like the average food for the actual average person is pretty generally healthy. So I was trying to get like an idea for the guys out there who might not
Uh,
know.
I would assume it's the same. Also, I could be completely wrong. I could be like dead 100% wrong. But I would assume it's roughly the same as Japan, where it's like primarily rice or noodles for most meals, and then I don't know if you can get protein or vegetables that on top. I feel like that would be pretty much the typical diet.
Mm. Dude, I feel like if I ever did go to Japan, bro, I'll be killing those meals in 7-Elevens.
Oh yeah, dude, they're so good. They're so good. Oh my god. Except sometimes, okay, they eat stuff over there that we don't eat over here, so you gotta be careful. Because one time, I got a skewer. This was in Arima Onsen. It's like a city that's on top of hot springs, and so it's like a bathhouse city. And so I went to 7-Eleven, and there were these, it looked like star shaped vegetables on a skewer. And I thought it was okra. It looked like okra, but like a little pale, like white okra. I thought, oh, maybe it grows different here. And I took a bite, and it was actually the cartilage from the end of like a chicken breast bone. It was just cartilages on a stick. I almost threw up. So yeah, they eat different stuff. And there was another thing that looked like chicken nuggets on a stick, and I bought it. And when I took a bite, it was actually chicken asses, like chicken butts, on a
What?
stick. Yeah,
Japan 7-Eleven, guys.
they eat different stuff. Can you type in? Can you type in Japan 7-Eleven cartilage?
I think I spelled that right.
I don't even know how to spell cartilage.
Yeah.
I think that's right, but it might be
Oh, okay. Yeah.
cartilage. That's how you do it. Do they have a picture here? I guess not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I guess I might have to find the name for it in Japanese. Not acid, chicken ass, like the ass of a chicken. Can you hold on? Here. I'm gonna find this. I'm gonna find this image. It's like a chicken butt yakitori, I think. Yeah. This is, oh my god. All right, if you type in
Go
type in,
type that in the chat.
I'm gonna type it in the chat. All right. If you just go to Google Images for this, one sec. Let me open up the chat real quick. If you go to chicken butt yakitori, it looks like chicken nuggets.
That's it, guys. Let me. Oh, that's really interesting, man. Oh, you wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't
You would.
know, right?
You would not know.
It looks like edible food.
Bro, it looks like a skewer.
Yeah, it looks delicious. It looks like nuggies. It looks like fucking. It looks really good. Looks like little cutlets on a stick. It's the ass bone and the fat of the ass of a chicken.
Dang, dude.
So they eat stuff over there that we don't eat over here, and it looks like the stuff that we eat. So it's just be careful. Oh, I'm too loud. Hold on, I can turn it down. Is that better?
Oh no, you were fine, but I mean, yeah, I guess.
I think I was peeking.
Um, so so back to Thailand, the Phuket.
Okay.
That was interesting though. Um, so what would you say is like the fashion sense over there in Phuket?
The fashion sense, man. I wish I could remember. It was the memory that I have is everyone wearing the shirts from the store that they were selling shirts at. So I don't really quite remember exactly like the fashion sense. I would say pretty much sort of what you have in the States, except they have more rules about modesty. So you're not supposed to show a lot of skin if you're a girl, and especially on the religious sites, they won't even let you in if you're like showing skin. So if you're doing like this,
Yeah.
chest showing, shoulders showing, legs showing, anything like that. Also, sometimes even hair showing. They'll make you cover up before you get onto the religious sites with the temples or the giant Buddhas and stuff like that. So they do have like modesty rules that don't really exist here. Like you could go to the Lincoln Memorial dressed in like full BDSM and no one would really say anything. Over there, you get in trouble.
Mm. So, what about the day life and the nightlife? Or which one you also like better?
I like the day life better. I'm not a huge club guy,
Yeah, I agree.
so I like being on the beach. I like taking the jet ski out. I like uh, going up parasailing. Um, I can't really surf, but if I could surf, I would. When I was in Hawaii recently, I went hydrofoiling, and that shit's a lot of fun and super difficult. So I like water sport type stuff to do in the day and at night. Also, I was there with a girl, so at night it wasn't like oh, I need to go find some girl to bang. It was, no, I was already set, you know.
Yeah. So, what kind of food do they actually serve over there in day life and nightlife?
Hmm.
Like the typical go-to for people.
I think people will usually stick with the basics. So like that salad I showed you before, pad thai,
Yeah.
stuff like soft shell crab, whatever stuff on a stick is around. So you always have street vendors, sort of like hot dog carts in New York, but instead they're doing like everything on a stick. So like a hot dog on a stick, or like a bunch of um like pork, not pork chops, like chicken wings on a stick, or just a bunch of different like meats in different shapes on a stick, fish balls on a stick. They have fish balls over there. That's another thing that doesn't
Oh
exist
wow.
here that exists in it does exist here in like if you go to particular restaurants, but over there, the way that we have hot dogs made out of pork usually, they have a bunch of meat products made out of fish. So you got like fish balls and fish sticks and all sorts of stuff like that.
That's pretty
Um,
interesting. I guess there's like they're like Japan in a sense when it comes to that.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
fish.
yeah. And whatever else is in the 7-Eleven. So you got just like bowl noodles, vegetables, meat. I would assume that's what people are eating most of the time, but I think they tend to stick with like the basic shit. So just noodles, rice, food, that type of shit.
Mm.
King DJ, invite a friend.
Yeah, it definitely. I saw some people coming in earlier. So, um, so h- how are the women over there in Phuket, Thailand specifically, compared to like the rest of the other parts of Thailand?
Man, I'm not the best guy to answer this question. I don't really know very much about the women there. Like I said, I was there with a girl already, so I couldn't really.
Yeah, just from your experience, you don't have to be like exact,
From
but
my
just a rough
experience,
idea.
I mean, I don't know, sort of timid, I guess. Sorry, King DJ commented in there. I'm curious about this character, King DJ. Do you know him on a personal level?
Uh, yeah, I actually did gaming streams, so he came to my main channel, so he's checking
Hmm.
us out right now.
He's a gamer,
But
bro.
yeah, he's a gaming bro.
I'm curious about him. I'd like King DJ. Will you tell us a little bit about yourself in the comments in the chat? Meanwhile, I'll answer the question. Yeah, I would say a little timid. I could speak more about Japan because I went to clubs in Japan and bars in Japan. And the way that it worked in Japan was people were a little timid until they got pretty drunk, and then it was a party. And it was the same that was in a bar. It was pretty much the same in a club, where people would sort of stand up against the wall. You'd have one guy who's like his thing. You know, there's like a culture in Japan of picking one thing to become a master of. So there's one guy who like picked his one thing is dancing, like hip hop dancing. So everyone's on the walls, and then this guy is in the middle of the room, like doing his hip hop dance. Um, and Eventually, people sort of warm up and like congregate in the middle a little bit, but not quite the way that it works in the U.S., where everyone's just really, really drunk and kind of going crazy, and girls are twerking, and someone is throwing money somewhere, and there's like fireworks and all that. That wasn't really my experience of like clubs over there. So like answer your question. I don't quite know. I would say more timid, a little bit more modest. Yeah, that's how I would think of women in Thailand. Oh, also like in some ways more dominant. When it comes to family stuff, like super. You know the stereotype of like angry mother, like the kid reaches for food and the mother like hits his hand with a
Yeah.
spatula, like that type of stereotype fits in there.
So would you say they're how should I put this?
I don't mean to cut you off, but King DJ just he wrote in the most wholesome message I've ever seen. I love to play Splatoon and making friends. That is that's what a good
That's
guy, you know?
that's profound.
That's great. I love it. That's awesome. King DJ, I'll be your friend, okay? We can be friends. I don't have a Switch right now, so I can't play Splatoon, but you know,
Shout out to King DJ. He's actually the one who donated to me the first time, man.
shout out.
First time
Big
donator.
shout out. You
So he
donated?
got that.
Wow.
Yeah,
What a homie. Just a
my
good
boy.
guy all around.
But yeah, would you say have you ever tried the online dating over there in Phuket?
No, but I can tell you my friends have. One of my friends, he told me about how it was when he was there, and he told me that pretty much if you're a white guy, um, or pretty if you're not Thai, then you're like a celebrity over there. It's the same way in Japan in certain areas. So not really in Tokyo, not probably definitely not in Bangkok, but in the smaller cities like Phuket, I would assume it'd be very similar. Where if you're not a Thai person, like you're foreign, then you get like extra status coming in like immediately, and yeah. So he told me that he got a lot of matches with a lot of girls, and they would just find random rooms to stay in because he didn't have like he was tourist, but everything's super cheap there. Hotel rooms like $20, so he just grab a hotel room when he finally like was done with his night with the girl, bring her back to the hotel room. So I would say, yeah, the dating apps are much more efficient over there, I think.
Mm. So do the women in Phuket, Thailand, do they speak English or do you have to learn the language mostly
Hmm.
for Thai?
I wish I could tell you, bro. I think they don't speak very much English. Mm, yeah, because it's not really like one of the it's not a huge city, and education in terms of English is a little bit lacking, I would think. So yeah, I think you if you want to find someone to marry, well, if you're doing the whole passport bro thing, then you'd have her learn English, right? So is that like is that
Yeah.
really?
Or just I guess just exchanging one another's language, learning about each other more.
Oh, so if you're going wholesome, then yeah, I mean, why not learn the language? It would be pretty difficult, but I think it'd be easier because people around the world sort of have engagement with English in terms of, like because of media and movies and music. So they have some familiarity with English. But if you've never been to Thailand, you've never like you don't have any Thai family, then you're not gonna have had previous experience with the Thai language, and it's gonna be really mind-bogglingly difficult to like figure out how to speak the language. Like, they have a whole different syntax. They have gendered language, so like male and female sounds different. And what I mean is like, um, they have if you're a guy and you say hello, you say sawadee kap, but if you're a girl, you say sawadee ka. So it's like you have different things based on your gender, which doesn't exist in English. So it's syntactically, linguistically, it's way more difficult to like learn Thai than it would be to learn English.
Mm. For you guys out there, man, the most used language in the whole world, I believe, is Mandarin, and then is English for number
Hmm.
two. So English is the second best language in terms of like being mostly used.
Hmm.
Um, I'm actually not even sure what the third is. what what is the third? Uh, Spanish maybe?
I would mean, yeah, I would think Spanish.
But yeah, guys, I would just keep that in mind. Um, but yeah, um, what kind of jobs do tourists usually go for when they actually get there? If
Are we
they do
talking?
decide to work there,
Are we talking expats or are we talking
just
like?
regular travelers trying to get like a
Hmm.
want to get a job in Thailand as like a foreigner,
Well, I
like the
wouldn't get a
go-to.
job in Thailand because then you'd have a Thai salary and that wouldn't be very good at all. So
True.
you'd get a job in the States and then go to Thailand, right?
Yeah,
You'd
because
probably
I
want to
know
get a
this.
job in like Eastern. No, you'd probably want to get a job in the UK, get paid in pounds, and be like closer in terms of time zone. Yeah, I think that would be the way to go. Or just get a job where time zone doesn't matter and it's just about the hours that you put in. Or have your own business. I think a lot of expat people have their own businesses, do content stuff. A lot of them do customer service jobs, like phone call stuff, or they work in tech like I did, and that gives them a lot of freedom to do what they want. One guy that I spoke to, he owned Bitcoin ATMs. This was before all the cryptos took a shit. So yeah, it was a lot of tech stuff, and it was a lot of people that like saved up money and then went and then are gonna go back to their like hometowns.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, because I know of people usually sometimes they come to Thailand and they're looking to just get a job as a foreigner and then use that job from being a foreigner to fuel that business online. That's what I
So,
was thinking as well.
could you give me an example of something you could like? I mean, what
Let's
comes to mind
say,
is like teaching English or something.
yeah,
But
like teaching English. um, I got tongue tied there.
hmm.
Uh, and then they use that English teaching job to actually fuel their online business. So now
Hmm.
they're actually then traveling to other countries, being more of an expat.
Yeah, I'd heard people do that in like South Korea. Um, I don't know if people they probably do. They probably do that in Thailand. I think if you did that in Thailand though, you'd probably want to find like a really rich family because the salaries are not good over there. So I think your best bet is to get like a job in the West and then just go over there while maintaining that dollar getting paid in like Western currency.
Definitely. Um, Speaking of rich people, have you had any experience with any rich people in Phuket, Thailand that you remember of, or friends?
Yeah. When you go there, there's a lot of Russian people there that are clearly like oligarchic, like Russian people, because they're there with like their whole family and they're just balling out, buying everything in sight, taking up half the beach, with their expensive like sunglasses and speedos, like Gucci speedo. I don't know why you're wearing that, but um, you can see them. They stick out. And other than that, the tourists that like go to party and whatever, like some of them are rich people because and they're just like they're in that phase where they're like, I just want to do like the hedonism thing and let's just go do the most fun party stuff that we can do. And so you'll meet a lot of people like that where they got rich off of crypto or they got rich off of some. I think it was mostly crypto, honestly. When I was there, it was either girls who worked as an au pair for a year and saved up money and then showed up, or and dudes that that made it in crypto were like the rich people. So yeah, all tech stuff for the rich people there, or Russian like oligarch money, gulag money. You know.
Oh, dope, man. Um, look at Look at DJ. He says, you can say me and Devin are practically brothers. I'm doing my best to support him and never leave his side. That, my friend, deserve a. I appreciate it, DJ, man.
Nice.
I love the support, bro. Shout out to him. So have you had any negative? Well, are there any negative traits that people have there in Phuket, Thailand? Or
Not that I remember, honestly. No, I didn't really experience anything sketchy or abrasive or obstructive. It was pretty much. Yeah, I didn't really run into any issues with anyone there. Like sometimes, like I said before, something wasn't clean. You need to like complain, and that's a pain in the ass because you feel like, oh, I'm paying $10 for this thing that should be $100. I don't really have a right to complain, but also, I don't want like bed bugs in my bed. So, there's stuff like that. But like from the people themselves, I never really had a problem. I'm also like a very careful person, though, generally speaking. So, I didn't have any real issues there. We did think that one of the people, we were staying at a hotel, and some of our stuff went missing, and so we did think that someone stole from us. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like very, very mild. So yeah, nothing negative to say about the people. Oh, dude, here, okay. Only bad thing, you can't make jokes about the king. If you make jokes about the king, you go to jail and you die. You can't make jokes about the king, and I think that's stupid. But yeah, that's the culture. What are you gonna do? That's their laws.
oh, that's interesting. And just Thailand in general.
Yeah, they don't have like freedom of speech for real. So you can't make jokes about the king. You can't say bad things about the king. If you do, prison, bad prison, Thai prison.
Mm, that's interesting, man.
Oh yeah.
I actually never heard that before.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah. When I was getting my visa, the guy was very, very clear that this is not something you want to even. You don't take this lightly. Like you don't even whisper it in your hotel room. You don't talk about the king. Sorry, I got something in my eye.
So, is there any dangers to look out for anybody wanting to travel to Thailand, Phuket,
Um,
in general?
there's always a danger of someone like snatching a wallet or something, so like pickpockety, or like steal your laptop if you leave it unattended, something like that. There's always that kind of danger. And otherwise, I would say beware of like police. Don't be too. I want to use the word flamboyant. Don't make your presence um, very noticed by people. Just stay low key. You don't want to attract a ton of attention because you could become like a target for, I don't know, like cops extorting you or random people stealing your shit. Um, but aside from that, I mean, everything's pretty much fine.
Oh, dope. So, what's the religion over there that they actually use in Phuket?
They have their own flavor of Buddhism. Um, it's an interesting one. I always find it interesting where there are different flavors of Buddhism because to me, like the core principle kind of is like about not having different flavors of a thing. But anyway, yeah, they have their flavor of Buddhism, and then some places they have Islam, but it's mostly Buddhism.
Mm. Do you have any extra stories for the viewers out there in Phuket?
Extra stories. I wrote some stuff down here. Let me see. We talked about the beach, jet skiing. Oh yeah, we hired this guy for I think it was $11, and he drove us around all day long, and took us wherever we wanted to go, and hung out outside smoking cigarettes until we were done doing stuff, and then continued to drive us around, uh, which is kind of nuts.
Dang.
Like $11, and we have a chauffeur. So it was crazy. But yeah, he was our personal driver. He took us all different places. We went shooting over there, which was one of the more expensive things you can do over there. So like shot some shotguns and stuff. That was fun. The 7-Elevens are better. We talked about that. Oh, yeah. So I was working a decent job at the time. I was making like $30 an hour remote, But that's not like that much when you're traveling. And let's see, if I was working like, let's say 36 hours a week, 4 weeks a month by 30, it's like 43.20 a month. And then you saw on the low end, it's around $2,300 to live there. So I had like $2,000 to spare, I guess, beyond expenses of traveling and all that. And despite it being super cheap over there, you can run out of money real quick. So, what was I saying? I totally lost. Oh, right. Okay. So the reason why I say that is because the big, fancy, luxurious hotel rooms are way cheaper than they would be here, but they're still kind of expensive. They're still like 100, $200 a night for like 4 or 5 star hotels that, in comparison to the U.S., would be like $500 a night. So it's still a huge discount, but quite expensive over there. So what I would do is,
How much
because
is
I'm
that
not
a month?
Thai. Huh? What was that?
How much is that a month? Like $200 a day? You say?
200. What's 200 times over? Like 6,000? Yeah, $6,000. Um, so because those places were expensive, but I still wanted to go to them and see all these really cool views and nice architecture and like beautiful pools and like have access to all those bars and stuff like that. I would just sort of walk into these places. And if you walk in loudly speaking English, people think you're staying there, and it's not a problem. That's all you need to do is loudly speak English as you're walking in, gesticulate a lot, like ideally have a partner with you as you're walking in, talk to them like you're really comfortable because you're staying here, right? So and you just walk in and you have access to the beautiful pools, and there's one infinity pool that was overlooking the ocean. So it was like a super infinity pool. It was really really cool. And yeah, it was just a great time. So that's what I did. We went to this one place that was themed after like the Avatar movies. So it was like dangly lights everywhere and cool trees and all that. Um, yeah,
Oh,
just
I
got in
can
for
see that.
free, hang out at the pool, get a nice tan, put on your backpack, walk out to the next door, where it's a restaurant where you have lamb chops for like $6. It was great, really cool.
Oh, that's dope, dude. That's hilarious, dude. You just walk in and speak English.
You just walk in, no one gives you problems. You're speaking
No,
English,
you're
no.
just top G.
Yeah, yeah, you just walk in.
Man, you get a free swim and everything, dude.
Oh yeah.
So, do you have any last words for the viewers out there in the
Last words
world?
for the viewers. Let's see. I don't think you have to go to a different country to find a wife. I could be wrong. But I think that maybe it improves your odds, but maybe you have to resign yourself to the idea that you might possibly have to have multiple marriages, get used to the idea of prenuptial agreements, and just use your faith and your self confidence to think that maybe you're one of the uh, roughly 40% of men who can keep a marriage and not be divorced. That's my 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 prescription.
So, Dylan, how can people find more about you and learn more?
More about me. I mean, I got an Instagram. My Instagram is Dylan Warsoff. Um, that's about it right now. At some point, I'm gonna have more social media stuff, but I'm not yet organized enough to have to tell people, oh, go check out my this. I don't do a this yet.
Yeah. Also, guys, his Instagram is actually in the description box, so do check him out, man. He's a great guy.
Thank you, King
And all
DJ. Let me ask
right.
you. Well, before we go, King DJ, how are you? I feel you are a young man, rough like 17, 18, maybe 16. Am I in the right ballpark, or are you older than that? So if you love playing Splatoon and making friends, and you want to make music and you want to make a game, you sound like me, but like when I was 16. So I presume. I don't know if we'll get an actual answer on this question. I was just curious.
I think it was actually 15. So you brother. You nailed that the park.
I'm very good at reading people. Is that
That's not
prog?
slinky.
I am correct.
Oh,
It's the programmer brain. You see, very clever. Yeah.
oh, dude, man. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
guys, make.
sorry,
Oh,
sorry.
you
Go
have,
ahead. No,
you have
I cut you
anything?
off. I was gonna tell him like you're 16. If you have a decent computer, I'm not sure you're gaming on a Switch. You're playing Splatoon, so I would assume you don't have a PC. But if you have a strong PC, you could start making games today. Like just get on Unity.com, download the engine, and follow their tutorials, and you could start making games pretty easily, with like minimal coding requirements. You just watch YouTube tutorials, and you could start making your own game now. Get ahead of the curve. Is what I would say to you, King DJ.
GG, that's a hidden gem, man.
I was like, why was there such a long pause after that? He was
What
looking
sound
for the
effect
button.
might pop up this time?
All right.
But yeah, guys, make sure to look after yourself from around the world, and I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Have a good one, y'all.
Yeah.